Thinking. Problem solving. The number of young people who ask I too, just solve everything is unsettling. Not long ago, I learned there was only one qualified bookbinder left in Sweden. Carpentry. Horseback archery, these younglings aren't prepared for the horde. Communication and conflict resolution. Basic automobile maintenance. Reading a map, navigating without GPS. How to strike up a conversation with someone you didn't know. Cursive calligraphy. Think for yourself before searching the net or asking I. Spelling and grammar. Reading and writing. Cursive. Driving stick shift. Being empathetic. Common sense. Thinking. Ham radio. Reading. Critical thinking. Fact-checking and proofreading. Watchmaking. Calligraphy. Cursive writing. I say learning a trade. Driving stick. Mastering the alphabet. The barter system. Shuffleboard. Talking to strangers. Critical thinking. Reading. Reading. Having deep conversations. Reading for comprehension. Jing with vinyl records. Common sense. Critical thinking. Archery on horseback. Small engine repair. Reading comprehension. Penmanship. Touch typing. Manners. Growing your own food and baking bread. Table manners. Cursive. Listening to each other. Fixing a bicycle. Reading and writing in cursive. Sixth diminished theory. Reading an analog clock. Basic math skills. Grammar and literacy. Phone etiquette. Critical thinking. Shoe repair. Manners. Driving a manual transmission. Writing letters. Rational critical thinking. Quilting. Libraries. Kindness. Critical thinking. Handwriting. Critical thinking. Reading books. Critical thinking. Problem solving without I. Going outside. Critical thinking. Cooking. Penmanship, cursive. Patience. Cobbler. Horseshoes. Critical thinking. Art of good handwriting. Critical thinking. Communication. Showing up on time. Writing in cursive. Everything. Communication. Common sense critical thinking. Spelling and grammar. At this point, reading comprehension. Working on electronics. Small talk. Hard work. Handwriting and calligraphy. Socializing. Critical thinking. Basic communication and comprehension. My Gen Z intern didn't know how to use a stapler or binder clips. Actually being able to focus for long periods of time. Attention spans are getting cooked. Not sure if this qualifies as a niche, but I would go with phone etiquette. Math for change from notes in your head and not via the point of sale machine. I learned how to repair mechanical watches from my grandpa. Younger folks just buy smartwatches and call it a day. How to adapt to the world around them. Interpersonal communications. How to disagree with someone without getting morally outraged or thinking they are evil. Stenographer or typewriter the use voice to I nowadays, I hardly see writing anything. They record and transcribe into text. Talking to people face to face. Reading, speaking, writing, thinking. Loki feels like cursive basic car maintenance are gonna be the next low starts. Kinda sad too. What niche thing do you know that nobody around you can do? Not necessarily niche, but their ability to discuss and play with ideas, opinions, and opposing views gracefully. Writing. I work at a prestigious university, and the writing assignments I see from these high-achieving students is atrocious. Writing and reading cursive. My college-aged son received a card from his grandma today and had to come ask me to read it for him. Shoe and leather repair. The guy my wife goes to always complains that he wants to retire, but that none of his children or extended family want to take over the shop. Construction. It's a dimensional skill that everybody thinks is below them. Autobody repair and painting is a big one that makes good money. Reading sheet music notation. Classical music. Thinking. Actually taking in information and doing something with it. Maybe not all skills, but cursive handwriting, reading, and in digital clock typing. Definitely sewing, sadly. Evolution is taking that away from the new generation. Sewing 100, My grandma tried teaching me, but fast fashion got me hooked lol. Nobody patches jeans anymore. Actually working. Just because you can look up all information on the internet does not give you the real-world skills to be a master of everything. Developing anything new. Everything right now feels like a copy of a copy of a copy. Riding bikes, with the emergence of e-bikes, kids are straight up losing the ability to pedal and stay balanced. Using physical maps and navigating without GPS. Most people rely on their phone now and would struggle without it. It'd say writing like actually using a pen or pencil and writing. Also, even typing isn't taught in some schools, which is wild. Printmaking. Even as just an art form, there's not many people interested in learning. It's expensive in every format. Using a rotary phone. It takes like 5 minutes to learn, and it's a pretty good party trick. Reading, writing, most technology-related skills, thinking, telling time, math. Cursive handwriting. Not even saying it's essential, but it's wild how something that used to be a basic life skill is now basically a niche. Public speaking in front of a live audience. Reading a physical map and driving a manual car. The Dewey Decimal System. I had to explain it to somebody the other day when helping organize something. Reading a map, more specifically mapping out driving directions with a paper map. Learning how to repair anything. Driving a manual transmission. Repairing and tuning a carburetor, riding motorcycles. Masonry, specially building natural rock walls, repairing old rock structure. Fixing their computers. I helped a few younger Gen Tech bros fixing package installations, configuring network and reinstall systems. Devs back then were knowledgeable. Not really niche, but being bored. Being able to, and being okay with just doing nothing and being bored. Linser crafting for special needs eyes, and clock making watch repairs. I used to be a court reporter. Are stenographers still a thing? I can't imagine many kids are interested in it. Learning to do something, anything, even if you won't be immediately perfect at it. Cooking, leather working, gardening, sewing. Critical thinking, the scientific method, skepticism. Critical thinking and research skills. Handwriting, it's not even a niche thing, but the amount of students I saw who couldn't write clearly was shocking. My brain read why is dying, such a niche skill younger generations are not interested in learning. Cobbler, bookbinding, typewriter repair. Common sense, logic, and critical thinking. Cursive, they cannot write their signature. They cannot spell because of autocorrect. Nor can they tell time on an analog clock. Pretty basic skills. Handwriting and cursive. I spent hours learning in elementary school, and these days, I don't think people under 30 would even be able to read it. Mental arithmetic. I'm moderately good at it, and people treat me like some sort of savant. 4 skills that any shopkeeper would have had 50 years ago. Tying knots. I learned a few as a kid in Cub Scouts, and later in life working at a fishing camp for this one guy's boat that didn't have a big chain and carabiner. Neon is a dying art. LED lights and screens have nearly totally replaced the actual art of shaping and charging glass tubes with reactive gases. Leatherworking, bookbinding, basket weaving. All these textile-related skills that we're losing to automation. Writing and complete sentences. I'm marking second-year university assignments at the moment, and it would appear that critical thought in the era of I is pretty niche. Actually writing software using critical thinking skills instead of relying completely on I. I think there is a persistent myth that civilizations move in an ever-upward path of improvement. History shows that this clearly isn't the case. Furniture repair and restoration. My neighbor does beautiful work and can't find anyone local to take it on as she's retiring. That thing where they build fly fish lures by hand. Reading. Writing. Taking the initiative. Says the college professor. Gardening and then they complain about why everything is gray and dull. We need more flowers, people. Spelling out a full sentence and using punctuation. This may have been said already, but cursive writing. Reweaving holes in sweaters. I used to go to a local woman, and she mentioned she couldn't find an apprentice. I think she retired. As a teacher, it'd say reading or independence or responsibility or critical thinking or attention span, or do I need to keep going? A whole handbag of basic life skills. I read this as why is dying a niche skill that younger generations are not interested in learning, which was much more amusing. Repairing things instead of replacing them. Feels like that mindset is slowly disappearing. Sometimes I genuinely wonder if we should have courses on media literacy. Not a skill, but making a phone call to make an inquiry instead of asking Reddit or Facebook. Hi. I think real social interactions are unfortunately fading away. We need more real-life, authentic communication. Flint-knapping. Can't get a good obsidian arrowhead anywhere these days. Critical thinking. Or thinking in general. Playing the piano. I see so many pianos for free on Marketplace, every week they end up going to the dump, because nobody wants them anymore. Not seeing enough niche hand-carved stone masons, Cooper's traditional versions of most trades that became automated realistically. Staying off the internet, not making stupid posts on Reddit. Programming the videotape machine to record a program. Heartfelt confrontation when alone and not backed by superior numbers.